This video is going to demonstrate a feature called faults and actions. The video is aimed at users that are already using the vehicle inspection and VHC function, but would perhaps like to just improve some internal processes. So I'm going to go ahead and open the vehicle inspection from the tile. And what you'll see here is just a very standard vehicle health check that our technicians performed. But what you'll notice at the bottom of the vehicle health check is a new section called faults and actions. Now, this video is not going to focus on how this reflects towards the customer, but purely just for internal processes. So if we just take a quick look at the vehicle health check, we can see very normally you've got your traffic light system and some comments that technicians have written. But where this one changes, if I go down to the faults and actions and select manage, add attention items, when creating the inspection sheet, you can select that if any of these are selected, then it's called an attention item. So during the setup of this VHC, I selected that certain items within the vehicle inspection are attention items. And if they are marked as amber or red, then it's going to add them to the faults and actions at the bottom. So the purpose of faults and actions is to go into a bit more detail on how to rectify the issues the technician has found. So a vehicle inspection is pretty much there to identify issues, but it doesn't necessarily give the front of house the answers they need to rectify the issues. So a good one, for example, would be the TPMS fault. Okay, it's useful to know the TPMS light is on, but what action is required? So in this case, it's just a replace TPMS valve, and so on and so forth. And you can work through, I mean, the faults might be self-explanatory, like service during 1,000 miles. Well, the action required for that would be to have a service, for example. But what you can also do from this section down here is add multiple lines to a single fault. So within a vehicle inspection, you can't add new lines dynamically. Well, down here you can. So if in the action number, if I select 37 again, it's going to allow me to write more faults related to the dashboard warning lights if I wanted to. So we could have EML light on, for example. And you can see we've actually got 2 of these now down here. Now this has a second benefit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this vehicle inspection to create an estimate from the inspection. And I just want to show you how that's also reflected in the estimate. So I'll go process confirm. Do I want to create a VHC? Yes, I do. And I'm going to go ahead and open the VHC. So again, you have your familiar vehicle inspection or VHC embedded within the estimate. But if you look now, you also have the faults and actions. So when you're actually estimating, you can just use the faults and actions instead of having to use the vehicle inspections. So it's just much more condensed information. So if I wanted to go ahead and start building up an estimate now, I can just simply work through the faults and actions. So I can just add a label line for replace TPMS valve. Etc. And you just work through the VHC as you normally would, through the estimate as you normally would, get your authorization and copy it back to the job sheet. Now the faults and actions, it can be done on a tablet and it can be done on a PC. I don't think it can be done on a phone if the technicians are using a phone, but the faults and actions can be done by either technician or by a front of house service advisor or any sort of admin staff. So I hope that gives you some clarity on how the faults and actions section works. Faults and actions can also be printed out as well. So if I print the faults and actions, depending on how much information you have on here, it's just a very simple printout to give to the customer so they can see what was checked, what was the fault, what was the action, and also who checked it as well. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Thank you.